Hey babes, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. Now's a good time to go ahead and subscribe. As you guys can see from the title, today's video is in collaboration with Hairvivi. You guys know this is one of my favorite hair companies. Their units are one of the best, literally top 3. And then of course their packaging is always flawless as well. This is their, I'm assuming Valentine's Day packaging just because of the pink color. It's nice, silky, velvety, all that good stuff. And then of course, once you open up the box, they do have like this custom paper, which is so cute. And then of course, the actual wig itself. So you guys can see they give you a satin bag to be able to store it. Obviously, to me, it's like a lot going on because with the packaging, you guys, you're going to get a nice pretty box, but ultimately you won't end up using it. They do have a bunch of things inside of here, a couple clips, a couple combs, and they also included this new tweezer, which I've never seen before. It actually has combs on it, so that's pretty cool. And then of course, the unit itself, all the details will be posted down in my description box below. As you guys can see, this is a bob unit. So of course, if you are wanting more details on the exact color that I use for the cap, the size, all that stuff, definitely check out the description box because I know that a lot of times you guys are asking and that information is definitely there. If they do give me any coupon codes, I'll definitely be sure to share that with you. And as you know, all of Hairvivi's units can actually be worn gluelessly. So all that I'm doing here is pretty much just cutting off the lace around the ears. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and pretty much adjust this to my head. You guys can briefly see that I do have my hair cornrows. I know a lot of times you are wondering, like, what is it that you're doing underneath your wigs? Literally a bunch of braids, as small as you can get them, underneath your wigs is definitely going to be the best option. And lucky for you, you won't actually have to apply like any type of wig cap and do that whole molding and bald cap method any longer. So that's a good thing. You guys can see the lace is absolutely transparent, HD. You're not really seeing through too much. The hair is not really layered, so I was kind of deciding, like, did I want to add longer or short to long layers, or did I kind of want to leave this in its natural state? The only thing that I did not want was my part on the left side. I think it's your right, my left, or I'm saying that backward, but you get what I mean. So I wanted to go ahead and smooth over the part. By doing that, instead of like completely washing the unit and molding this down with just like water and obviously while it was wet, I decided to use my Cream of Nature mousse just to go ahead and help me out with that. So you guys will see here, just going throughout the top sections of the hair, applying a little bit of mousse and literally smoothing it over. What I'm going to do to kind of seal all this is to actually silk press. Well, I'm going to do that later, but for now, I'm going to go ahead and blow dry this out a little bit. It's going to help with just the smoothing process. If you guys do not already have your hands on a hot comb, definitely make sure to grab one because you're going to want to make sure that you have one available if you want your units to lay as flat and natural as possible. I'm going to show you a trick to kind of get the illusion of using a flat comb, a flat, why can't I say that? So I'm going to show you a trick of how to get the illusion that you've used a hot comb without actually having to use it. But in the meantime, if you can grab one, definitely do so. I'm just going to go ahead and finish pretty much blowing this out. You guys will see how easily the hair is able to be like maneuvered. You could have definitely done it like a middle part, side part, half up, half down, whatever it is you feel comfortable with, just because these units are super versatile. So you guys know that the elastic band in the back does get super tight. The wigs definitely fit really snug. So again, they can be worn gluelessly. In this case, I'm not going to be doing a glueless install, but it's going to be close enough. So you guys will kind of get a better picture of what I'm talking about in just a little bit. What I wanted to do first things first is to go ahead and just kind of smooth out the parting area, and you guys can see I'm doing just kind of like a part going away from my forehead. You guys can do this however you want, but I prefer a curved side part. I just do because I like deeper parts also. So if you can really curve that and even get that L shape going, it's going to help your units look even more natural, and already it was looking like a blowout. So here's the trick, right? You guys can actually go ahead and use your comb. Make sure that you're using one that's not going to actually melt because, of course, your blow dryer is going to get pretty hot. So use a heat-resistant comb and actually just go through the hair, pulling it as tight and as resistant as possible, and then follow that with the blow dryer, just as direct heat. And you're going to want to make sure that you use some type of product to kind of weigh the hair down to really get it to maneuver the way you want to. Obviously, you don't want it to be sticky, crunchy, or anything, so I don't recommend using hairspray. Definitely try to mow this down with either some type of mousse, or if you don't want to do that and you have the spare time, I always recommend washing your units, especially when you first get them, and then just kind of molding them and allowing it to air dry. But again, I wanted to show you this straight out of the gate just so that you beginners will definitely have like an idea of what to do. So from this part forward, I think it's kind of self-explanatory. You're just going to see me kind of going through like all the parts of the hair, making sure that everything is nice and flat. In case you guys are wondering the products that I'm using, of course, y'all know my go-to is the Camera Flat Iron Spray. And then, of course, anything outside of that is going to be either Cream of Nature or Mazzani. So, yeah, I'll be sure to leave all those details down in the description box below. And then I'll be right back once it's time to get into the install. All right, guys, so as you can see, we have pretty much everything nice and laid down. I'm just going to go ahead and clip back my hair now so that I can really get a good look at what the lace has going on. Then I'm just going to take my scissors and pretty much just trim that off. You don't have to do this in any particular way. As I said before, the unit is HD transparent Swiss lace, so you don't have to worry about having to, create ridges and all that good stuff. This is literally going to melt into the hairline with no effort at all, as you guys are seeing right in front of you. Now, I know a lot of you prefer wigs without the baby hair, so if this is where you want to stop, definitely feel free to do that. Y'all know I'm going to take it up a notch and add just a little bit more because it's how I would normally wear my natural hair as well. And then I also did go ahead and take some of the Gotta Be Glue spray just to tack down the side. So I did not do this like all over. I just really wanted to make sure that the side flaps were not going to lift up at any point. For the most part, It didn't happen anyway, but just to prevent this, because I wanted to wear the unit for about 2 to 3 days without having to do too much to it, I went ahead and just added a little bit of that spray in any of the areas that I noticed it was kind of lifting a little or just not super snug like I wanted. So use the back of your comb just to really kind of maneuver that into the skin, and try not to do this with makeup on. I'm doing it in this video because y'all know it's gonna come off right after this video goes up, but try to do this with no makeup because you don't want any breakouts and weird stuff going on. So definitely make sure to do this with a clean face. Wipe off around your hairline with alcohol. And then, of course, to set the baby hair, I did use the Gotta Be Glue spray just to go over that and a little bit of edge control. And so now I'm just using my 2-inch FHI flat iron just to add a little bit of bump to the hair. Nothing too crazy. Y'all know I'm pretty simple when it comes to doing like the styles. I don't really like too much, but I am going to give you a few curls just because why not? So once you got the hair exactly the way you want it, my goal here was just to really make sure that everything was flat. I don't know if it was me or what was going on, but day one, the hair was looking amazing, okay? You guys, it has a nice flow to the hair, and I was super happy with it. So day two, I decided to go ahead and record. I didn't really have like a thought process of how I wanted to do this, but I just wanted to show you that it can hold a curl. It's super bouncy, and it's super easy to maneuver through. So I didn't get any tangling, shedding, no stuff like that. The hair, of course, did not have a smell. I also didn't wash it. So that kind of says a lot as well without me having to do too much. Didn't add any like additional products to it outside of a light holding spray. And then, of course, a little bit of the Cream of Nature oil just to kind of lighten it up a little bit. And yeah, that's pretty much all that I did here. I'm just flipping everything away from my face. You can do this with a barrel curling iron or your flat iron. I know sometimes it's a little tougher to get consistent curls using the flat iron, so do whatever you feel comfortable with. And then I'm just gonna hit it with the Mazzani heat resistant humidity spray. And yeah, that's just gonna help everything kind of lay in place. And from here, I'm just gonna go ahead and kind of finger detangle, and then eventually I'll go through with the paddle brush just to make sure everything's like locked in. And you guys can see, very loose, messy, not really too much effort curls, just something that you can kind of do in 5 minutes and go. And you guys can see everything is still intact. This is the very next day, and I'm literally just kind of playing with the curls, trying to decide how much volume I wanted. And then, of course, just naturally, your wigs are not going to lay super flat day after day, especially if you're doing a side part and you have not tied this down properly. So what I did last night was literally just throw on a bonnet and go. So you guys are going to see me just going back through this with the hot comb just to really hit the roots. And this is kind of what I do for maintenance. So I know a lot of times you get to see just the beginning of me putting on the wigs and just kind of going, but of course, throughout the week, yes, I do have to touch it up. This is not like a one and done thing. And I think sometimes that kind of goes unnoticed when it comes to wigs. So definitely just keep that in mind. If you're not tying it down properly, you will find yourself having to do some touch-ups. It's not the stylist, I promise. It's just, it is what happens. It's a wig. And of course, if you do have, like, I don't know, if you sweat a lot, there's definitely going to be some extra things going on, but that'll be a conversation for another day. And you guys can see how flat everything got. And then, of course, just to get rid of the flyaways, I did go ahead and take some of my camera flat iron spray just to go ahead and kind of remove some of those and just lay them down without having like too much of a heaviness. And then I didn't do this the original part of the video, but I did go ahead and add just a little bit more baby hair on the sides as well, just to complete the look. And then now we have our makeup done and we are pretty much all set. So definitely let me know what you guys think about this video down in the comment section below. I love you guys so much. Stay pretty, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, babies.